So, Christmas starters. We'll do a couple of starters for Christmas Day. We will avoid the prawn cocktail, but we'll stick with fish, just to break up all of the turkeys and ham and bits and pieces. I've got a bit of smoked haddock here and a bit of cod. So what we might do is poach these in milk, butter, mustard, parsley, and make a nice sauce and serve them in vol au vents as our starter. First thing we need to do is to get our vol au vents cooked. So I bought these just roll ones. We'll get them blind baked. Again, you can do this in advance and have them ready. So just brush them in a bit of egg or dip them in egg, just to save a bit of time. And we'll get these in the oven, get them cooked, and then leave them aside until we're ready to serve. I couldn't find any of the jumbo vol au vents, but they'd probably be ideal. You could have one vol au vent per portion. But if not, look, these little mini ones will do fine. We'll get a couple on each plate and we ladle in some of the nice fish and sauce as our starter. So get these all coated and we're going to go straight into the oven, get these blind baked and ready to go. The fish itself is very easy to prepare. If you need to debone it, I literally just cut away the spine of bones, because we're going to be serving this in flakes or in chunks. And you want to make sure you get rid of all the bones in this one. We don't any bones in this recipe. So let's get your fish and we'll poach it. It's a really easy one to cook and prep this. So we're going to heat a bit of butter in the pan and we're going to poach the fish in butter, mustard, little bit of onion and milk and a bit of black pepper. So we just want to soften down our butter and onions, and we're going to lay our fish into the pan. This will serve, I don't know, you really only put a small amount in each vol au vent, so you'll easily feed 6 people out of this. Now, packed in. Again, this only takes minutes to cook and it can be done in advance. So we'll get a bit of English mustard in there. We will just put enough milk in to come up around the fish and cover it so we can poach it. That should just about do it. And to that, we just want to add a little bit of salt. We put in a nice bit of black pepper. And if you have any fresh parsley, I don't unfortunately, but a nice bit of parsley on that. And we are going to put this onto the lowest heat and poach it. Bring it gently to a simmer. So just keep it covered on a gentle heat, just to poach lightly and cook the fish through. Keep the lid on the whole time. It'll only take a few minutes. So it's starting to poach there now. The milk is simmering away and the fish is cooking, getting less translucent. I'm going to throw in a splash of lemon and we'll cover it again. Meantime, our vol au vents have cooked and they're ready to come out of the oven. As I said, these are very small. Maybe the jumbo vol au vents will be ideal for a single portion, but they're not too bad. So after a few short minutes, the fish will be cooked, nicely, gently poached in the milk. This is actually a great base for a fish pie. Obviously you could put in prawns or salmon or whatever you fancy. I often serve this as a main course, but it's nice and delicate. And what we'll do is we'll take the fish out now and we will break it up, flake it up, and we'll thicken up the sauce and add it back in. So we can remove our poached fish now and just leave it aside. And then we'll make our sauce. Just try and get the fish and leave as much of the juice behind as you can. And we'll break that fish and flake it back into it when we're done. Again, you can prepare this in advance. You can blind bake your pastry, you can poach your fish, you can make your sauce, and you can put it all in the fridge and reheat and bring it together then when it's time to serve on Christmas Day. So that's the last of our fish out of the sauce. Now we just have to thicken this up. You could make a corn flour slurry, you could add some white sauce powder. I'm just going to throw in a bit of butter and a little bit of flour and make a small roux and thicken it up. It thickens very quickly with a little bit of flour and a little bit of butter. Again, you could use corn flour. Just mix till it's smooth. There's bits of fish left in this. It's never going to be 100% smooth, but we're going to add back in our flaked fish and it should be nice. So I think we're there now. Just taste it. Yeah, it's nice and thick. Lovely, salty enough, just a little bit of pepper maybe, that's us. Once the sauce is thickened, we'll add the fish back in and we will break it up into little chunks or big chunks and be ready for serving. You can knock the heat off at this stage, doesn't need any more cooking. All of our fish is back in and we're going to just break it up. It should just fall apart like that. As I said, this will feed a lot of people. You'd easily feed 6 or 8 people from this because you only need a spoonful or 2 for each portion as a starter. But I love this as a main course. This to me is just delicious in a pie with mashed potatoes on top, or served in vol au vents with mash, or even with a side of chips or fries. Just gorgeous. So you get all that flaked up. That's it, all broken up. And this again, it'll sit happily with the lid on it until you're ready to serve. If you let it cool and serve the next day or whatever, just bring it back to temperature very gently, just on a low heat. Don't go boiling it. So to serve, I think we'll just get 3 of our little vol au vents, our mini vol au vents. If you can get the jumbo ones, even better. And then what you want to do is just a spoonful into each. One more. And that is it for our starter. Served with a little wedge of lemon. It's creamy and it's light and it's lovely and it's the ideal starter for Christmas Day.